Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
And it was wrong. It was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call.
Some are good for fighting, others for dying.
It's just two movies.
Welcome back. Another episode, and it's just movies. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of It's Just Two Movies. My name's Daniel King. In the studio, Birdman.
Caw.
Hey. Just swing that mic a little bit closer. Just a bit. There you go. Give me a caw.
Caw.
Oh yeah, you're right there. Right
Caw,
there.
baby. Caw, baby. Let's do that again. Is there anything? Have you been thinking about any other silly fucking intros? Not really.
I can real quick here.
Oh, I was just wondering. I didn't know if. Or we can just do a regular intro. I guess it doesn't matter.
What's topical? What's hot right now?
Kanye,
he's always hot. But those
Super
shoes, those Yeezys.
The Yeezys.
Yeah, but this won't come out for 3 weeks. What's going to be hot in 3 weeks?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
NFTs, baby.
All right.
Oh, shit, they're already hot. Never mind.
Welcome back to NFT Podcast. Nice fucking titties. My name's Daniel King. With me today in the studio, Birdman. And this is actually, it's just two movies, not NFT.
We're not doing NFT?
It's a different podcast. Although
Is
we are cartoon gorillas.
Yeah.
In real life. So
right. I'm
I'm glad it's finally getting some national coverage. So I don't feel so weird every time I go to Walmart. People are screaming and throwing shit at me. Like literal shit. I don't know if they think that's how we get on, but I don't actually.
We're doing the NFT podcast tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow's the
Okay.
Nice Fucking Titties podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, let's do
All right,
the
yeah,
podcast
I'm
we
into it.
normally do
We'll
tonight.
do It's Just Two Movies tonight,
Okay.
and then we'll do
Correct.
we're cartoon chimpanzees and NFTs. Yes.
All right.
Woo, chimpanzee NFT podcast coming at you tomorrow, maybe. Yeah, so if you're not familiar with the show, what we do is we watch a good movie, we watch a bad movie, we have some drinks, we talk about them. They normally have something in common.
Yeah.
You picked the movie this week. What did we go with for the good flick?
So, I went with a movie that has a special place in my bird heart.
Okay.
The Truman Show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say like a documentary about the Harpy Eagle or...
The
Truman Show's good, though. That's a good pick, yeah.
Yeah. I love this movie. It came out when I was like 10. I don't think I watched it right when it came out, but it's one of the first movies that I remember watching and going, wow. Just kind of made you just the emotion of it. I think. I don't know.
Give you the feels.
Yeah,
give you the
right in
feelies.
the feels.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you think a little bit.
Holds up, too, for a sci-fi drama from 1998. Was a June 5th release, directed by Peter Weir, starring Gem Carrey, Ed Harris, Laura Linney, Andrew Nichol, Noah Emmerich, and Natasha McMillan. Yeah, that's who's in it. McElhenney.
Andrew Nichol is the writer. He's not actually in the movie, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe he is. I didn't think he was.
Oh, yeah, I do see that written by. Very nice. It's got an 8.1 out of 10 on IMDb, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, 4 out of 5 on Common Sense Media. 94% of Google users like this movie. But the rating that everybody really wants to know about is how many thumbs. But we'll get there. We'll arrive there shortly. A little bit of sizzle for you.
The people want
out there in fucking podcast land. Baiting the hook, you get a little taste.
Yeah.
You get a little taste of the T word, thumb.
The people want their thumbs.
The people want their thumbs. They want to put them in their wherever. That's your business. Whatever you do with them.
I won't get into it.
I'm just a fucking chimpanzee NFT.
Nice fucking titties, dude.
Nice fucking titties. Chimpanzee titties.
So this film had a budget of $60 million.
Oh, very nice.
Opening weekend, it made $31 million. Worldwide gross was $264 million. So they made a lot of money with this.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're listening to this and you're a teenager and you're like, I don't want to watch it.
You don't have to.
You don't have to, because we're going to tell you all about it. We're going to fuck this pig. What you do is you get your boots, you like wiggle them down in the mud, and then you put the pig's feet in the boots because it can't lift them up high enough to get out of the boots. And that's how we do it.
Oh man!
Not the podcast. That's the pig. So
let's get into it, baby.
Yeah. We'll briefly, spoiler free, because this podcast is all spoilers, baby, except for the next 20 seconds where you tell me what the story was.
This story is about one man. That
Truman McMillan.
Truman McMillan.
It's not his name.
One man that is he's an unsuspecting star of a reality television show where his life is filmed 24/7 through hidden cameras.
Directed by Ed Harris.
That's the short version. Obviously, we're gonna dive into it a little bit.
We're just gonna get in there, get it in all the crevices.
Yeah. The clean crevices, though.
The clean crevices.
Sure
clean.
We
don't want the dirty ones. This is Truman we're talking about.
Yeah.
Very clean. I use Comet scrubbing spray. I'll tell you, we're doing a silly pose you can't see because it's in podcast.
All right, let's get into this.
Yep.
We've got Truman.
Well,
actually, there is a cold opening with Ed Harris. I forget what he says.
A whole big stretch.
I forget what he says because I watched this like 3 or 4 days ago. But he's kind of alluding to life in a sense, I think, right? Do you remember what he says in the beginning?
I don't remember what the quote is, no.
It's just a brief little bit that we see Ed
You're talking
Harris.
about the bit where they're interviewing Ed Harris and he's like, he goes, his whole life is a lie, but Truman's not. Truman's earnest or honest or whatever because Truman doesn't know.
Well, I think it is from him being interviewed. I don't think that was the bit that they showed, but either way, you get the cold opening with Ed Harris. You get a nice little line from him, and then we meet Truman. He's the star.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't know it.
It's a very Leave It to Beaver kind of town.
Yeah, that's
thing, but it's like in a giant dome.
Yeah. So
it's a huge movie set.
It's basically a movie set. They're in a huge dome.
Is it an island?
The set is, like he's on an island. The town he lives in, everyone is a part of this.
Oh,
they're all actors. Well, most of them are actors. There are some behind the scenes people. But yeah, I like that you kind of brought that up, that Leave It to Beaver feel. Because I didn't put that.
Yeah, I don't know how else to say it. It's very
That's perfect.
It's very like a lot of shoulder pads and 1950s. Like,
and it's bright.
His wife's always wearing a dress, and even though the appliances and stuff are modern, like even the vehicles, but everybody's dressed very 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a good point. I like Truman's. He's a real bright guy. Real bubbly, real bright.
Effervescent.
He's
very effervescent.
His little bit that he does every morning. Good morning!
And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
And he does the classic Gem Carrey lean back, like lean
freeze
back,
frame,
laugh.
Oh yeah,
hand in the air.
Yeah, he's the lean with it, rock with it. Ice cream with it, pop with it. Rap songs, man, I know them. I know they're out there.
So throughout this little world that he's living in, and he is the star of, it's a TV show, so they have to have advertising, right? That's
right.
They have to survive.
Yeah,
and I love all the little bits that really focus on the advertising, like the twins in the beginning, the two older gentlemen.
They like push him up against a wall where there's a billboard behind him or whatever. Yeah,
just all the subtle. Well, I guess it's really not subtle, but
would it be weird though? Like if you grew up your whole life like that? Like, would it be weird if you had so many advertisements shoehorned into your life? Like, when your wife would do it, you'd be like, oh, you're doing the thing. You're doing oh, honey, how was your day? Oh, it was great. I walked into the Twins. They pushed me into a billboard. Oh, what billboard was it? Oh, they changed it. It was this. You know what I mean? Wouldn't it become like a commonplace part of life?
I don't know.
And I will say, I watched this with my 11-year-old. She loved it.
Did she?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, it's a,
It's a family-friendly kind of mindfuck.
Yeah.
But also, like, promising. It's hopeful. It's got
That's what I mean by, like, kind of holds a special place, because as a young viewer, I found a way to connect with it.
Yeah.
And just, like I said, it really makes you think. So
yeah, I watched it. I guess I watched it when it came out, and I was probably 43 or whatever.
67.
Yeah, 60. Yeah.
I don't know.
It was a while ago.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it was a while. Who can remember?
There's a part where Truman is searching for a woman named Sylvia in Fiji.
Mm-hmm.
He's at work at this point. He's an insurance salesman. And it's been a long time since I've watched this, and I was like, what is this? Where's this leading?
Yeah, I hadn't seen this in a really long time. Probably 10 years or better. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's been a minute. But his boss comes up, interrupts Truman, and he sends him to do some work. It's like on a neighboring island or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we learn that Truman has aquaphobia.
Right.
Because his father died when he was young. They were sailing, and his father fell over the boat, drowned.
Yep, and they didn't recast him.
Right.
Yeah.
So Truman's father's out of the picture, leaves Truman with aquaphobia, and that's their way of keeping Truman where he is.
On the island.
The island.
Yeah, and I imagine they bring it up every so often just to remind the viewers, like, this is how this show actually still works, though. Like, it is still, here's a little bit of reality for you. This guy's just fucking terrified of water.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, it's kind of weird. There is a bit where he's hanging out with his buddy. This is a lot. I think it's later. I mean, they hang out quite a bit. But they're hanging out, and they're literally near water. They're on a bridge.
Feet dangling
over water. And I'm like, how would he not be terrified right now?
His buddy, played by Noah Emmerich, by the way.
Who is really, really good in this.
Yeah, he is.
Just a lot of great performances in this, really, across the board. It's just such a specific style, you know what I mean? To be an actor within
acting as an actor inside of a
I love it.
It's a layered character.
Yeah,
it's which is pretty delightful. Yeah. I like all the ad spots. There's a bit. I'm not going to spoil anything. Truman's downstairs. He's doing something, and his wife comes down. He's like, "Oh, I'm working on the lawnmower." She's like, "We should get a new whatever from Sears, or it's the greatest." And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing right now? Who talks like that?"
Yeah. Which his wife, played by Laura Linney, is fantastic.
Who you might know from Ozark.
Heyo. Fucking love it.
Or you might not. It's a good show, though. You should check it out.
If you haven't watched Ozark, please stop listening to this. I'm just kidding. Keep listening.
Keep listening to the Ozark can fucking wait.
Ozark can wait, baby.
Netflix has got enough money. I'm not even asking for your money. I'm just asking for your sweet little ear holes, baby. That's all I want. Just want to get nestled in there.
Sorry, bud. You're going to have to keep listening to
And no, there's no room.
Movies.
There's no room in the back.
Oh, man. So just after we see his fear of water, the next day, Truman runs into his father.
Right.
Which is super, like...
Who he thinks is dead, but the guy still works as an extra, or what? He's like a homeless guy, number 6, or whatever.
Yeah, he's a homeless guy, but... Yeah, I never really quite connected that. Like, did they take him off the show, but he just still hung around? Or did they just make him a homeless man within the... you know what I mean?
Did he break in because he's actually a homeless man? Like, he can't get work anywhere now?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering. Because I don't think they ever actually, came out and said that.
Would you watch a TV show that went 24 hours a day? Like, would you even tune into it to try to watch any of it?
Probably not.
I'll probably check it out for a couple hours and then be like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Sounds exhausting.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
How do you watch that all the time?
I don't know, man. How much of your day is view worthy? Me, maybe an hour.
My day, yeah. Maybe some of the stuff that I do at work, just because some people find those, watching other people work. It is kind of fascinating, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Truman goes to his mother and he tells his mom about seeing his dad, and she just kind of downplays it.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I see him everywhere too." She just gaslights him.
Yeah, I see him in this, in people's faces everywhere.
In bus stops and yeah. Because he's there sleeping on the benches. That's
him.
That's why I see him at bus stops, because that's him, actually. He's a real man. He's tangible.
Oh, man. We get a flashback of Truman and Love at First Sight with Sylvia that I mentioned earlier.
Yep, and that's with Natasha McBaloney. Just kidding.
That's definitely how you say it.
McElhoney.
McElhoney
Baloney.
McElhoney.
Natasha hot dogs. Just go full blown.
Get it, baby.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, Truman he sees her, he sees Sylvia, and he falls in love immediately. But his current wife interjects. Marilyn?
Yeah,
that's her name, right?
Laura Linney.
Laura Linney.
She's not having it.
No. She getting in there.
Yeah, she get up in there.
She get that Truman.
Oh, yeah. She get him.
That's it. He's hooked.
Yeah. I mean, if it was Ozark, she'd have had him killed.
Whoa, spoilers, bro.
Right.
Ozark spoilers, bro.
She'd have had somebody killed for sure. She's just awful.
Yeah, Marilyn, she forces her way into Truman's life because, again, it's a TV show.
Yeah, she's got to be putting out, I guess. That's it.
But eventually, Truman meets Sylvia, and she's kind of hinting that there's something going on that he can't know about.
Right.
She can't talk to him. And they escape to the beach.
Yeah, and this is when he's a young man.
He's a young lad.
He's a young man. He's a YA.
It's a YA.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So YA Truman and this McBaloney lady, they're talking. Some guy rolls up and he's like, "That's my daughter," and she's like, "I've never seen this man
in my life."
Right? Who would you immediately side with? I'd cold cock the old dude. I'd be like, "You don't know this guy?" And she'd be like, "No, don't let him take me. Bet."
She's crazy. She's coming with me.
Well, she seems fine, so I guess we can just shake all this out at the station.
Yeah, he kind of just lets him go. And also, what kind of car is that dude fucking driving?
I don't know.
Because it's just fucking cruising on that beach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that sand?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I don't know what kind of car it was. It's not. I know what it's not. It's not the Oscar Mayer hot dog car. I know that it's not that. Though. It should have been. What if he's got the hot dog costume on, and he'd just be like, "That's my daughter. She's crazy." She'd be like, "I've never seen this hot dog man." And he'd be like, "I don't know. It seems fine."
That's awesome. That's a different movie,
right? Yeah. It's a skit from.
Yeah. So. This random dude takes Sylvia away, and Truman never sees her again.
Ever. She's
kicked off the show. She's trying to reveal Truman's, what he's about, what he is.
Mm-hmm.
He's the star. And we go back to the present, and Truman, throughout a lot of the beginning of the movie, he's buying these random women's magazines.
Right.
And he says they're for his wife.
Yeah. Wife loves those Cosmos or whatever it is he's getting.
And it's kind of, I don't know, I thought this bit was kind of weird. Like, he's using these magazines to try to recreate Sylvia. Like, he's cutting out
eyes and lips. Yeah.
How did you feel about that? Is that a little weird, or am I just...
No, I think it's weird. I think he's just trying to remember what she looks like.
Yeah.
Because it's an island. She was there. He met her.
And then they
had a fucking really weird night.
Yeah.
And then he never saw her again. And it's an island, so it's not like she's just been homesick, the cold.
Right.
And then I imagine he asked around and everybody's like, "Who?"
Yeah. That is pretty traumatizing.
You know what I mean? It would be traumatizing. You'd have to have some sort of weird way to deal.
I guess in a sense it's kind of sweet.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know, he's trying to remember.
And creepy. It's like it is.
It's a little. That's what I mean.
It seems serial killery.
Yeah.
But what else would you do? Like, you can't get on the internet.
Right.
Because it's the 1950s in this motherfucker, but they still have a 1990 Ford Taurus or whatever.
Whatever year it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the 50s, but
seems the fashion is definitely the 50s.
kind of
Like
has
there'll be a guy just like sweeping in the street with a push broom, and he'll be wearing like the gray jumpsuit with the railroad conductor hat. You know what I mean? Fucking weird. Nobody dresses like that.
Right. They've created a fucking world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just a weird, not even a time capsule. It's like all the fake magazines and fake newspapers and the whole thing's a production.
Eventually, Truman, he kind of he catches on. He's driving to work, I think, one day, and he hears a radio frequency that shares his precise location. He's turning on to North Jefferson or whatever it says.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What the fuck?
What the fuck? That's me.
That's me. That's where I'm turning."
And somebody else is like, "Oh shit, he can hear us. Create a distraction." Just weird shit.
He starts observing people because he's figuring out something's going on. Something's weird. He busts into an office building. And he tries to take an elevator, but he sees like it's not an elevator.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what you would see on the set of a movie, but kind of like behind the scenes or whatever. Like an assistant, a food tray, like food trays and stuff like that. And he's like, "What the fuck?
What is that fucking craft services?"
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just very strange in his eyes. So he goes home and he tells his wife about this again. He's just,
and she's like, "You should have a Nature Valley granola bar to calm your mind. Wash it down with an ice cold Prepsi."
Oh man, I love Prepsi.
I'm telling you, man, I love an ice cold glass of Prepsi. That's what it makes my my whiskey with, a little Prepsi,
a little Prepsi,
a little Prepsi cola
whiskey,
Prepsi with whiskey, some butt guts and Prepsi.
Did you take any notes for this, by the way?
Yeah, I got them.
Oh, okay. They're on your phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got 'em.
Nice. Am I missing anything that you wanted to highlight on? Or?
The rain bit.
Oh, when he's
just sitting at the beach and he's like depressed and it starts raining like right
directly
on him and not around him, and he's like, "The fuck?"
Yeah.
And they're in operations. They're like, "Oh shit, we sprung a leak," and they're like, make it rain," and they're trying to make it rain and they're fucking it up. So somebody's like trying to follow him with the with the rain, so he won't know that it's not real rain. But I guess if you lived your whole life and never knew real rain,
I don't know. That was kind of a funny bit.
Yeah, it's good stuff though. It's like it's how he starts kind of putting shit together, and there's like a street light, or it's supposed to be a star. That can light falls out of the sky.
Yeah, that was right in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
That falls right out of the sky.
He sees it out in the road, and he's like, he calls it in. He's like, I guess it was like an airplane part or something.
Yeah.
But it has a constellation name on it because it's part of the night sky.
Right.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. So he slowly he's kind of putting it together. He's real dumb, is what I'm saying. He would immediately be like, "Where the fuck did this come from?" Because he sees it fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like he's like, "Oh, what's that doing in the road?"
I like the bit where at home, Truman, I think he's with his wife and he's with his mom, and they're looking through old photos, and Truman sees a wedding day pic of his wife, and she's crossing her fingers while they're getting married.
Right.
and he's really picking up on it now. Takes him a little while.
He knows there's something going on.
Yeah. He follows his wife to work, and so she's a nurse or like a surgeon's assistant or something like that.
Yeah, something. Yeah, I think she's a surgeon assistant.
Yeah, he follows his wife to work, and he's eventually stopped. Like, he doesn't get to see everything, but he's on the trail, man.
They hand the doctor the scalpel, and he's like,
oh, fuck.
Okay, because it's just a stagehand laying on an operating table, like a conscious man that's doing an act.
Yeah.
Because this is emergency time.
Right.
So he's like, okay, I'm gonna start my incision.
Just below the knee?
He's just shaking like crazy.
Oh, man. And at this point, Truman, he wants to get away.
Yeah.
He goes to the travel agency, and I love that there's a poster right by where he sits. I don't know if you caught this. I mean, it's kind of hard not to, but...
Was it like Visit Fiji?
It's like a poster where it's just showing an airplane taking off. And it's like clearly getting struck by lightning, and it says like this could happen to you.
Oh God!
But he's at a travel agency.
Yeah.
Just all of the fear that they're trying to
just everything to dissuade him from ever leaving.
Yep.
It's weird though. They try to play it like he has free will and he could just leave, but they do so much shit to stop him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really do. The travel agent tells him the flight to Fiji's not available for like 2-3 months or whatever. He tries to take a bus to Chicago. The bus driver fucks up the bus.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
sorry, guys, we ain't going nowhere.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Especially not Chicago.
Chicago?
Get a slice, go see the Bears.
Get a dog.
Get a dog. Maybe check out a Cubs game. Whoa, fucking windy, hey!
Whoa, look out for that wind.
It bites.
Back at home, Truman, he's sitting in his driveway, and he's just watching people again. His wife gets home. He kind of forces her into the car. He's like, "Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Watch this. They're on a loop. You're gonna see a woman on a red bike. You're gonna see
a man with flowers.
A man with flowers."
And a Volkswagen Beetle with a dented fender.
Yeah. And he perfectly predicts it.
Oh, yeah. He's picked up. He's hip to it, man.
Yeah.
It's not very, they're not being very sneaky about it to a certain extent, you know?
They're slipping up.
I think their camouflage is just the fact that his life has always been this.
Yeah.
So a lot of that shit doesn't seem abnormal to him because that's the way it's always been.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. His wife I feel like she slipped up because she tells him to go to Fiji. Did he mention that to her before? Or maybe he did.
I think he'd mentioned it before.
Okay.
And she's like, well, you want to go to Fiji? Is that what you want? We'll go to Fiji right now.
Yeah. And we get classic Gem Carrey as he kind of gets a little crazy and he starts aimlessly driving around the neighborhood and he's like, oh yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I really like this bit.
He's stepping on the gas a little bit.
Yeah.
He finally picks a street at random and like 6 cars pull out in front of him.
Yeah.
That's just immediately gridlocked and he's like,
that's it.
What are the odds?
And then they eventually get to a bridge, as we learn. Truman's aquaphobia. He kind of forces his wife to cross the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing everything they can to stop him at this point. Because they get across the bridge, they're traveling for a little while, and then they come upon a nuclear power plant that's shut down. And this is kind of how they stop him. But the officer that stops them slips up and calls him Truman.
Right.
A man he doesn't know.
Has never met him.
Never met.
Yeah, because everybody on the fucking planet knows him.
They know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would be a worldwide phenomenon because he's like the first child purchased by a company.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
Would you let Ed Harris direct your life?
Yeah.
I bet Ed Harris is pretty chill.
Fuck yeah, dude.
He's old as fuck now.
He is. I'm trying to remember, think of the last.
Probably Geostorm. It's probably Geostorm. He was in that.
Good movie, Danny.
Had a rocket launcher.
Good movie.
I saw him in Kodachrome. That's pretty good.
I haven't heard of that.
He's he plays an old rock star, and he does photography as like his passion or whatever.
Oh,
and they're doing away with printed film or whatever.
Okay.
I
know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Was that pretty
good?
good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I added that to my list.
Yeah.
That's with another actor who has a name.
Ed Harris is just amazing directing when he's on a talk show. They have a caller call in, and the caller's unruly. Like they're just being a dick to him. Do you know what part I'm talking about? And Ed Harris just handles him like a champ.
Well, that's what's her name, right?
Yeah, that is her. She's like, "What you're doing to Truman is
Sylvia.
wrong." Yeah.
Yeah, Sylvia. Eventually, Ed Harris agrees to an interview to talk about Truman and his life. Ed Harris's accomplishments directing his life.
Yeah.
Which they do this. I found this really funny. They do all of this from a fake moon. I love that.
Yeah.
So
because that's his specialty, is just faking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the fake moon that Truman sees. And in that is a studio where they're directing Truman's life.
And that's where Ed Harris is. He's just the moon.
It's so, yeah. He's just the moon.
Yeah, just Ed Harris, so Bob Papa. He's like the voice of God.
Yeah. He's as they call him, the creator. That's his, that's what they call him. His name in this film is Christoph.
Right. Yeah, he wears his little beret.
Yeah. He looks good in the beret, though.
He does look, he's pulling off a beret.
I like it.
It takes a hell of a guy to pull off a beret. I can't do it.
You think I could?
Maybe.
Probably not.
You have to bring the mustache back for sure.
Yeah. I did.
You might do it with the mustache.
With the old stash?
Yeah.
So yeah, like we said, we get this interview with Ed Harris, the creator, and we learn that there were 5 unwanted pregnancies at the time of his birth, and he was picked to be the star of this 24/7 television program,
of which I assume he never gets paid for,
right?
Because he's just owned by a company, and then they're like, "You could have left whenever you wanted." That's all they.
Nobody told you.
Yeah.
No. After the interview, Truman goes back to. Well, I mean, we don't see Truman during the interview. It's just Ed Harris. Sylvia calls in, like you said. She's complaining about Truman, let him go, yada, yada, yada. During this, again, Truman's kind of figuring everything out, but he goes back to living his life. But he finds a way to escape his house, and he slips out because Ed Harris isn't watching. He can't do this 24/7. He has
to sleep.
Yeah. He's got his assistants or whatever, and they miss it.
Because they're like doing crossword puzzles or what, they're just fucking off.
Whatever they're doing, yeah. There's a guy who like working out up by the video screen.
Oh, yeah.
He's like on an exercise bike in some sort of weird costume or
and
whatever.
Just not watching Truman.
Yeah.
That's what you gotta do, man.
Sons of bitches. Truman escapes. They can't find him.
He does. He's doing a sneak.
He's doing a sneak.
Mm-hmm.
The show cuts transmission, which it hasn't done in like, what was it, 1,000... No, was it 10? It was a lot of days.
Yeah.
Because he's almost 30.
And they started it when he was a toddler, at least.
No, they started when he was born.
Fucking, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, however many days that is, math.
It's a math amount of days.
It's a math amount of days.
Yeah.
The show cuts transmission. The crew, like everyone, extras, everyone, they're searching for Truman. And they find him sailing in water, which is, I mean, get it, son.
Get it, boy.
You got aquaphobia, and you're just fucking...
Just like, fucking, I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm super out. I'm not more... nothing terrifies me more in the entire world, but water. I have got to go.
Yeah. They find him eventually, and they simulate a huge storm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they push it to dangerous levels. They almost kill him.
Yeah, he just hangs on for dear life.
Yeah. He survives. Okay, so one problem I do have with this, I don't have a lot of problems with it, but the look of the dome from the outside, you only see it for like literally like 5 or 10 seconds.
Right.
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good, no.
And I wish they would have...
It does also not look big enough.
Right.
Like, I would be like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. I need to cover more than 5 miles of square area in 30 years. I have to look around and see what else exists.
Well, when you've got aquaphobia, bro.
I guess so. Can't get a fucking flight anywhere. Can't take a bus anywhere.
Yeah. Where you going?
He's fucked.
Where you going? Nowhere.
He ain't fucking going nowhere. And then finally, he's in the boat. And he hits the wall.
He hits the end of the world as he knows it.
Right.
It's the end of the world. It's the end of the world.
How's that song not in here? This is prime time for that song.
Right.
Could have got him walking out the door and I feel fine. I mean, it would have worked.
After he hits the wall, the edge of the dome, there's a really great shot of him, like a slow-mo, like trying to bust through the wall. Like, you see that emotion. I don't know. That was a really, really great scene.
Yeah, it is.
He eventually finds some steps and a door. He opens up the door. He hears a voice.
And it's Ed Harris.
It's Ed Harris. It's like, is that God? You know what I mean?
Right.
It kind of is to him.
And Ed Harris just kind of spills the beans that, like, hey, to you, I kind of am God. Yeah. So how about you get back in the boat, come back in, I can direct your life, and everything will be peachy keen.
Yeah. Out there, he's like, it's worse.
Yeah.
It's worse out there.
Oh, yeah.
The lies, the deceit. It's the real world.
Yeah.
But Truman, he has to find out for himself.
Yep, of course. Yeah.
I think anyone...
Give it to me straight, Doc.
Yeah, right. And he has a real... Jim Carrey has a really great line there. He's like, was nothing real?
Oh,
and just
Ed
the
Harris
sadness
is like,
in his...
You were real.
You were real.
So no, then, is the answer.
Right.
So
like,
nothing was real. All of this has been a sham.
It's so disheartening, man. To learn after 30 years.
Fuck.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That your whole life's been a lie.
It's just fucked up.
Yeah, it is super fucked up. And then, he thinks about it and he says,
well,
if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And then he leaves.
He opens up the door. Well, the door's already open. He walks through the door. And I really like this because the movie kind of ends...
It shows all the respected people watching the movie across the world.
Well, it shows those two security guards.
Mm-hmm.
The movie kind of ends insignificantly with those two guys. They're two security guards that you see throughout the film just watching Truman in his life. And it ends, Truman walks through the door, and they say, well, what else is on TV?
Right.
And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So you don't find out what happens to Truman. You do see Sylvia leaving her home, possibly to find Truman. You don't see her find him. So I like how it ended. I really like that.
Does he? It's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Yeah.
Because I think it works perfect for a film like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it is good stuff, man. I will tell you one of my favorite parts about this whole movie, revisiting it after 10 years, is how so many of the shots look like they come through an old tube television.
Yeah, because they're
I love that, man. It's such a cool aesthetic that fits all the 1950s shit that's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
All the shoulder pads and fucking like baby blue jackets and shit like that.
But yeah, I know what you mean. That camera style, like the hidden camera style too that they do.
Oh yeah,
I mean?
yeah, those look great. All the different like lenses that they use for this, it's fucking just cool.
Yeah, and a lot of this ages really well. I think for '98.
Yeah,
pre-2000s.
Absolutely. I like the way they made it in such an ambiguous time. Like, it would be hard to nail this down. Like, when is present day of this?
Well, you look at the car that Truman's driving, and it's like a Ford, whatever it is, but it's a current model, from that year. It's like a 98.
Taurus. I think it's a Taurus, yeah.
So that kind of pinpoints that, but like you said, a lot of the outfits and stuff, it does. It brings you back to that, like, 50s, 60s style.
What year is it inside his world, though?
Yeah,
you ever see him write the date on anything?
I don't think they did, yeah.
Fucking weird, man.
I don't know, man. It's such a good story, and that's what I appreciate about it the most. Someone was like, I have an idea.
Yeah.
And this is...
I wonder if it's like a metaphor for, like, when your kids leave home, and Ed Harris is the parent / the director.
Yeah, because he kind of...
And he's like, stay, just stay.
Yeah.
And it'll be...
At the end, he...
like empty nester hesitation kind of thing.
Right.
And Truman's the young adult, and he figures out, I guess the metaphor there would be, not that like your whole life's been a lie, but your whole life has been sheltered from what?
From the outside or...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I like that. I like that idea, for sure. Because at the end, you do kind of... You get that feeling that Ed Harris acts as his father.
Mm-hmm.
He's looked over him for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
He cares for him. You can see that. He cares for this person.
I guess that's part of his hero's journey, because that would textbook be his like atonement with the father scene. It just happens right there at the end.
Right.
He does meet a mystic creature from the other side, and that's that Miss Baloney girl or whatever her name is. Carrie Baloney.
Miss Baloney.
Carrie Baloney. I'll credit her one more time because I'm just going to keep saying her name wrong. Because I find it difficult to remember and pronounce, but that is Natasha McElhenney. Or McElhone.
Something like that.
McElhone?
McElhone? Did you know that there was a really similar movie to this that came out a year later?
What was it called?
Ed TV.
Ed TV. Man, I think I
this?
do remember Ed TV. Well, let me look up a picture of it. I see the poster, I'll be like, oh my god. It's all coming back to me.
It's all coming back.
Yeah, I sure do. With McConaughey, but
Yep.
he's like a reality star. Like, they're not faking it. It's in his face.
Yeah. It's pretty similar, though.
Fucking Woody Harrelson? Nice, man.
Well, I guess not pretty similar, kind of similar, because he does know, he agrees to have his life filmed.
Oh, shit, Clint Howard's in it. Fuck, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
And Rob Reiner, you dirty old bastard, probably.
Yeah. Let's,
man.
You want to rate this pig?
Let's dig our boots in the mud first.
Okay.
And put its hind legs in the boots in the mud. And how many hidden camera thumbs? How many hidden camera thumbs?
Okay.
Brought to you by Clorox and Sears Hardware LLC.
Schulter's cocoa, hot cocoa, or whatever it was.
Yeah,
the hot cocoa that she.
I've had plenty of hot cocos, and this one's the best. What are you fucking? What are you doing right now?
Why are you doing that?
Who talks like that? Look, I just told you that my life is a lie, and you're going on about cocoa. Fucking hilarious, man. No, I had a really good time with this. How many? What would you?
I'm gonna go out of 10. If I had 10 thumbs that were hidden cameras, it'd be kind of hard to hide them.
Yeah,
because they're just right there. You know.
Yeah, but they just look like regular fingers, but secretly they're all camera thumbs.
That's true.
Yep.
I'm gonna go 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. I'm right there with you, man. I'm going 9 out of 10 on this one.
And that's an original rating. I rated that because, like, if you have IMDb, you can rate all the movies you like. I guess I rated it years ago, and I looked at it. And it says
nice.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sticking with that. If I'm being picky, like I said, I would have loved to spend a little bit of money on how that dome looks on the outside, and then
I'd get Ed Harris more colored berets.
Like every scene he's in.
Every scene he just has a different one. Yeah.
I like it.
Maybe not every single scene, but you know what I mean? Like every time it's like a new day, he's wearing a different beret.
Different beret. New day, new day, new beret.
New day, new beret, man.
Hashtag new day, new beret.
Sun's out, beret's out.
I like it.
Beret's on your head because UV index, you don't want to get skin cancer.
Let's dial up that sun.
Dial back the UV rays because they're harmful, and Truman didn't bring sunscreen. I'm telling you, man.
And he's about to be in a world of trouble if he doesn't bring sunscreen because this next movie...
Very nice.
This next movie...
Uh-huh.
Why don't you fill us in?
Oh, you want me to... It's to me. Okay, I got you.
I'm shooting it over to you.
We're going to do Once Bitten, which is a young Jim Carrey... Jim Carrey. Let's say once... it's a older Jim Carrey film from 1985. It's a comedy horror, so we're gonna check that out. I think I caught it on TV a long time ago, like a couple of minutes of it. I have no recollection of it, except for the fact that it exists.
Right.
So we'll go watch that, and then we'll come back and we'll tell you about it, and you'll be like, huh,
I don't want to watch this.
I'll be damned.
Or maybe you do.
You never know. Jim Carrey's he's a funny man.
He's a funny guy.
Sometimes.
He's a young, funny man.
Sometimes you have to pay the price.
Welcome back to the Toy Schmoda halftime show, brought to you by Prepsy and Tostitos. I'm Schman Lemmings.
Tostitos? You fucking nailed that. Do you have a script? And I'm Flip Spillin'.
Hey, Flip.
Let's take a look at the Orange Juice halftime show.
Brought to you by Velveeta. I'm sorry.
Let's take it live down to the field where we've got choice music brought to you by Lil Snippets.
Let me see your titties. Yeah, titties. Those motherfucking titties. Okay. Right, titties. I wanna see your areola. Okay. Just one. Got the time. Let me see your titties. Yeah,
Wow. Amazing.
All right. Cheese McFlaniels.
Cheese McFlaniels here.
We're going to take it to you. You're down on the field.
Yeah.
With the halftime performance brought to you by Testitos.
Yeah.
Let me know what's going on down on the field there.
Sports, generally speaking.
Wow. Who's winning?
And half of the time.
Okay. What soft drink?
What?
What's...
Coca-Cola.
No, we're sponsored by Prepsi.
Prepsi.
Thanks.
Manola. Prepsi.
Thanks, Cran. Back up to you in the studio.
That's so nice. Well, I guess it's back to your regularly scheduled programming, which is the game that it's halftime from. Brief interjection from your program. I just wanted to throw out a couple of special thanks for the folks that make this show possible. Big thanks to Brad Sexton for our jams, Lamplighter Production for our artwork, Godsized Growing for some musical guest appearances, the Missouri T-Shirt Company, and Dave, who's our YouTube editor. We probably wouldn't even be on that platform were it not for him. If you want to check out anything any of these amazing people are working on, all of their links are in the description for this episode. If you want to contact the show, you can hit us up on Twitter or Instagram at It's Just Two Movies. We've got a Facebook page now, so that's on there. You can always leave us a comment on YouTube, or you can email us at itsjusttwomovies@gmail.com. Okay, yeah, and if you like the show, like, subscribe, leave us a review. That stuff helps tremendously. So anyway, back to the show. I fucking want Batman.
2 beers.
2 bitten beers.
1 man.
1 vampire. Just keep breathing. We're back. We watched Once Bitten. Once Smitten, more like it.
Like a kitten.
Okay, I didn't pull up any information for this. It's very unprofessional.
Let's do this over.
Here we go. PG-13, 1985 horror comedy, hour 34 runtime. This is a November release, 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb, 10% Rotten Tomatoes, 64% on Metacritic, 91% of Google users like this movie. Directed by Howard Storm.
Okay.
It'd be weird if it was Howard Stern. Stars Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey, Karen Copkins. God damn.
Karen Copkins.
Jim Carrey, Karen Copkins,
Lauren Hutton,
Cleavon Little called it. Thomas Bellatore.
Past that, it doesn't matter.
Megan Mullally.
Oh, that's actually a famous person.
Jeb Stewart Adams.
You know who Megan Mullally is?
Who's Megan Mullally?
That is the wife.
She does look familiar. My wife.
That is my wife.
Oh, yeah, I know who she's married to.
Yep.
What's his name?
Yep.
What is his name?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just keep saying yep.
Yep.
Ron from Parks and Rec.
Ron Perlman. That's right. Famous man,
From
Ron
Parks and Rec.
Ron Perlman. So before we get too crazy into Jim Carrey, Once Bitten, he was bitten one time, right on the PP.
Or maybe was it twice?
It could have been 2. It actually was 2 times.
Was it thrice?
No, not yet.
We'll find out. You'll find out later on. Yeah. It's Just Two Movies.
On the podcast you're listening to currently. A little sizzle. That's what they do in the biz. That's what we're doing right now. It's called dynamic audio. If I get in here, I do a little whisper. I'm telling you about Jim Carrey who's getting once bitten, but it was on the dick.
Oh!
Dynamic audio, baby.
You want to know what the budget was for this film?
Oh, it's more than anything.
$3.2 million. In 1985?
Yeah. What'd she do box office?
Let's
was
see.
Was it a sorry performance?
Damn, opening weekend it made $4 million.
Wow. Okay, there you go, Jim Carrey. Wow. Sorry.
Wow. We should do an Owen Wilson feature.
Wow.
Soon.
Just so we can just wow a bunch.
Yeah.
We'll do something and Molly and me.
Wedding Crashers and Molly and Me.
There
Is
you
that
go.
a bad movie?
I don't
Molly
know.
and Me?
I've never seen it. It looks
Oh.
stupid. They're like, the dog dies. It's so sad. I'm like,
that-
fucking I'll kill that dog right now. Bang.
Whoa!
Does it have rabies?
Easy now.
Did it not have its shots?
Easy now.
What happens to the dog? Does it get hit by a car? Does it die because it's old? Write us at it's just 2movies@gmail.com. Spoil the plot of Molly and Me. Because I genuinely don't care and won't watch it.
Oh, we'll watch it.
Unless we watch it as a movie for the podcast.
Come
which
on.
I hope nobody's like, oh man, I got the perfect good movie. Danny's going to love it. It's that movie with
Molly.
Owen Wilson and the dog. I think it's called Molly and Me.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? So, you got Jim Carrey. He's a strapping young high school student in his 20s.
Right. He's supposed to be in high school.
He drives an ice cream truck. And everybody's horny. Everybody's super horny, except his girlfriend. And she's horny too, so she claims.
But she's
just not ready yet.
She's just not ready.
She's not ready yet, Jim.
We've got a countess and her butler. The countess requires virgin blood of 3 young men before Halloween.
Yeah, although she doesn't, though, or one virgin guy 3 times.
Right.
Because they never made the distinction between the two. They started out and it was like, we need 3. I need 3 virgins. I gotta have all 3 of them.
Yeah.
And then it was like just Jim Carrey.
It was right.
I guess he's virgin enough for all of them.
She's got to have him those 3 times.
Oh, gee whiz.
She has vampire. So she has vampire fetchers. They are vampires that fetch.
But they don't
hunt for.
They don't need virgin blood, though. They're just cool with whatever blood or no blood.
Yeah, right. Yeah, how does
What's
that
the
work?
deal with that? Because she's like, oh, only women vampires. Well, there were women vampires in that.
Yeah, in the
the
troop, or
the
whatever.
Vampire Club, the Truman Show of vampires.
I said troop.
Vampire Troop. Troop 148. Represent. Monter.
South California.
South Cali. They all just hiss in unison.
Yeah, so like you said, Jim Carrey, he's trying to get sweet on his girl.
He's sexually frustrated. I love the when it just opens up and he's like, "Oh, come on, let's do it." And they're at the drive-in theater, which is
his
one of my
cream truck.
One of my favorite pastimes ever, and I love to enjoy an ice cold ice cream. I can't even say it wrong like that. Like I have to try so hard to say ice cream. How do they do it?
Ice cream.
You got an
I don't
ice
know,
cream?
The way they say ice cream is like.
Do you have an ice cream?
Yeah,
that's the one. Look, it's an ice cream truck. Just a regular old ice cream truck. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry about that.
But
it's an ice cream truck.
Sorry, kids. We don't have any ice cream. We've just got ice cream. I can't even fucking, man. Wow, it's crazy. Anyway, he's got his ice cream truck, and he's trying to bone his high school girlfriend, his lady, at the drive-in.
Yeah,
and she's not ready.
Not having
Jim.
it, and I love.
So he's sexually frustrated.
Yeah.
He gets out of the ice cream truck, and he's just standing there and like everybody's fucking. This right away. I was like, okay, so this is after my heart. You know, this gets what I'm about. Just stupid. Like, it's not going to be. This is an interview with the vampire, so just throttle it all the way and just make it goofy as shit.
There's a guy in like I don't even know what kind of car it is.
A convertible?
Some sort of convertible.
You just see his pale ass cheeks.
You see his pale ass cheeks just pounding away, man.
Just fucking.
So everybody else is getting laid, and Jim Carrey, he's just a sad sack, and his sack is sad.
I was going to say with a sad sack.
Sorry.
Yes. No, that's perfect, dude. Just keep layering it on. I like the way that when he looks around and he realizes every other vehicle is rocking and moaning except for his. He's like, oh, come on. And it just keeps panning out. Like it's a really slow pan out.
That classic 80s.
And there's so many cars there. And
everyone's rocking.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah, that is good stuff.
Jim Carrey and his buds, they're talking about where should they go? Where do they go to find ladies?
They're going to Hollywood.
They go to Hollywood.
It's going to get a little Holly weird if you don't mind me saying so.
And it does.
Because they're going to the phone bone zone. Where you sit at a table and you order beers and you is he supposed to be in college, I guess?
No, they're in high school.
Because he's like, I'm 21 and they're ordering drinks.
Because his girl, I'm pretty sure, yeah, they're in high school. Because remember, they're at the lockers. He's at the lockers at one point with his girlfriend or whatever.
I don't think they have college lockers. I don't think that's a...
No.
Yeah.
So they're definitely in high school. I think he lies and says he's 21 to the countess. Yeah. So, like you said, they're what'd you call it? The phone
bone zone.
Could you explain to the viewer what the phone bone zone is?
Yeah. So at the phone bone zone, you pull up a table with your pals, and there's like a lamp in the middle of the table that has a number on it.
Yeah.
And there's a phone that is shaped like lips.
Oh, sexual.
So you can look around the bar while you're drinking with your buddies, and you can just call another table
and inquire
and just go, "Hey, we're on the phone.
You want a bone?
I feel like I'm in the zone. Do you? How do you feel about trying to bone?"
I like it.
And if they're receptive, they'll tell you to come over to my table and on my tits.
Whoa.
And if they're not, then they probably fucking hang up, or you wouldn't go to the phone bone zone if you weren't trying to bone.
Yeah. Right.
That's clearly a place for boning.
Yeah. One of Jim Carrey's friends is clearly not ready. He's just going along.
He just tries
ride.
the other guy he uses the same pickup line like 6 times in the movie.
Throughout the whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Like literally like,
"Hey, I'm Tim, I'm a Virgo. I like fucking
long walks on the beach or whatever the stupid line is.
I like walnuts and sitcoms. And Dr. Seuss. I love to read Dr. Seuss.
Those are the things that I like.
Yeah, whatever it was. He was like supposed to be Tolstoy or something. I'm making fun of him because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. He's like... but Jim Carrey's friends, they can't score. Jim Carrey gets a call from the Countess.
Oh, yeah. She's like, "I'm at the bar. Definitely not an ancient mythical creature. But I want to just suck your
fucking thigh.
Come. Just your thigh until you come. It'll get in my hair. It seems like it would be a pain in the ass, but that's my thing. I'm into it."
I like the Countess's license plate. Life
sucks. LYFSUX.
That was awesome.
Should just be sucks life though.
They get to her crib.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice as fuck.
Her like MTV welcome to my crib.
Yeah, it's a little bright. It's a little bright.
It's still a show. They still do MTV cribs.
I don't know.
Have you ever seen MTV? Write us at gmail.com. Is Crib still a show? Have I ruined the joke?
Her crib is a little too white. Like the walls. Like she's a vampire, and it's really bright in her house.
It's very like, a lot of spackle. It's a lot of spackle. It's on like almost every surface.
There was a funny line from Jim Carrey where he's like, "Okay, so I gotta know what's going on. Are you a prostitute?
Are you a prostitute?
Because I only have $5."
Yeah, and she's like, "I'm whatever you want me to be." And he's like, "Oh, thank God." Then not a prostitute. I thank you very much.
And I missed
or
this.
a $5 prostitute. If that's what you're into.
I missed this, but you said she opened the fridge.
Yeah, you were hammering out a note.
I was hammering out a note.
She's like, "Oh, can I offer you something to drink?" And she opens the fridge. He's like, "I'll have what you're having." And it's like just bottles of like mason jars of blood and like a dead rabbit and a dead gopher like stuffed in the door of the fridge. There's a good amount of cheeky comedy in this for me, where it's like it's not taking itself too seriously, and then it actually kind of tries to get on the rails 3/4 of the way through the movie.
It does.
And then they do that for like 15 minutes, and they're like, "Who cares though? Like this is just."
Right.
You remember the first scene where everybody's fucking at the drive-in? Like it just doesn't matter. We can do whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. Jim Carrey wakes up from being bitten. He's clearly bitten.
The once. Right. We find out like 50 minutes into the movie that she bit him on the thigh.
Yes.
But it is indistinguishable from him getting bit in the penis.
Right. Because she's
which would also make sense. It's a veiny organ, you know?
She's kind of going down on him. And then he's just like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
Dude, that scene where she's like starts kissing on him and stuff, and he's getting super nervous. That's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
That whole scene is just like, "Oh, it's a lovely home. You've got you decorate this whole place. You decorated all yourself, and oh my God, you know my mom would love this. And my mom, she's a great lady." And
starts talking about his mom,
right? Very funny, very funny.
So he gets bit. They part ways. Next day at school, I think they're at school, and he gets just a raw hamburger.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of you're like, "Oh, well,
clearly."
He got bit.
Even his dad later is like, he drinks a glass of blood, and his dad's like, well, he can't be anemic, can he? But he could.
Yeah, his dad is like clearly both of his parents are clearly concerned. I like the first dream he has. He's got the Countess. Well, I think she's in all of the dreams that he has. They just like sensually smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
And then she kind of like...
It's like a 4-minute scene too. It's weird. She rubs his dick with her foot, and it's very bizarre. It's like just a weird, like, I guess it's supposed to be erotic, but
I don't know.
Is it supposed to be the thing that I watched, or was it different in 1985 where people were like, "Oh, that's pretty hot, actually. I'm actually loving that."
Maybe it was just really. I don't know.
It's just a white, smoky room with clear furniture.
Maybe back then it was like, oh my gosh, can you believe what they're doing?
Wow, look at those.
That's...
Ooh. Is that an ice cream?
Is that an ice cream truck?
There it is. That's the one. He's going to ice cream his jeans.
Got him. Old Gem Carrey. He's
Young Jim.
Young Jim.
Thank you.
Sorry. Young Jim. His girl finds out what's going on with the Countess. Somehow, I don't know how she finds out.
Like everybody just knew?
I guess because they're in high school.
Oh, he's like telling his friends and she was eavesdropping. That's what happened.
Was that what happened?
Yeah. It goes down in the lunchroom like that.
Oh, okay.
You know, the jungle.
The jungle down in the... Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the lunchroom jungle.
Yeah.
Where the food isn't the only thing that sucks.
Oh, shit.
God, I was really nailing it with vampire jokes while we were watching this, though.
Oh, man. We got to do a live stream one day.
We will. Yeah, we'll get in there. I mean, until it gets taken down, because we're not supposed to, post a
That's
movie
true.
watching a thing.
That's
or maybe
true.
I can. I don't fucking know. Whatever. If you know the rules on that, write me at itsjusttwomovies@gmail.com or on Twitter and Instagram at itsjusttwomovies. Or you can always post a thing about us and we'll read it if you just hashtag 2moviespod.
I love how much you say that. Like, hey, if you know this, just write us. And no one ever...
No,
like
nobody does. Yeah. Yeah.
You're just going to keep going with it?
If you haven't written us for any of the questions that I've asked, go fuck yourself at justtwomovies@gmail.com. Right and proper.
Oh, man. So, all right, where are we at? I like the scene where Jim Carrey goes to his girlfriend's work. She works at like
just a clothing
store. Yeah.
He's just doing goofy shit in her peripheral vision while she's talking to a customer.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm gonna try on these black pants, and she's like, oh, black pants, like it's some sort of fucking law that he's breaking.
Is it like he's always had an afro and he's like, I think I'm gonna get a haircut and just bick it. like it's the most drastic change in the world. I was thinking about shaving off all of my body hair. Like
Right.
all of it. Head, eyebrows, the whole thing. Just I figured I'd change it up a little bit. And I like the bit where his dad's like, won't you try sleeping in the bed? And he's sleeping in the bed and he's having a hard time because it's just a coffin without the top. Because it's a bed, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's 1/4 of a coffin. It's the exact same thing. It's less of it. And he just can't do it. No.
It's too uncomfortable.
Delightful.
He needs to be enclosed.
I guess.
All four. You gotta have.
Isn't that what blankets do, though?
Maybe.
Maybe you just feel more vulnerable as a vampire.
I bet there are people out there that actually sleep in coffins.
Yeah.
That's probably a thing, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
We'll look into that.
I mean, there are people out there that eat other people, so I don't think anything's really outside of the realm of possibility.
Man, this just made a weird turn.
Well, I'm just saying, that's what I'm saying. That's fucking weird. Those people are out there. So why not people who just love sleeping in a coffin?
Write us it. It's just kidding.
Do you love necrophilia? Write us. It's just
Do you like sleeping in a coffin?
Right.
So
write us at mohealth.org. Got you. I don't know. That's probably a real email for somebody.
Right. So eventually the Countess, she gets her second transfusion, her second
her second
blood
taste of that thigh blood.
that Jim Carrey
that horny virgin thigh blood.
Oh, it's in the dressing room. That's what it is. When he's at his girlfriend's work.
Yep, just gets him in the like one of the most public places ever.
Right. She bites him there. And then the next scene, I fucking love this. Jim Carrey's dad comes in from a jog. And he immediately grabs hot coffee.
Yeah.
He's after just when a jog.
Like, jogging's for the fucking birds. And he's like, yeah, it's actually bad for your knees and your back, Dad. And he's like, I fucking knew it. He's just pouring a hot cup of coffee. Just starts drinking the shit out of it.
You fucking psychopath.
Yeah,
dude.
You're sick inside, man. I don't think jogging is your main problem. I think probably the biggest part of your issue is the fact that you just chug hot coffee after a run, you psycho. Oh, it's delightful.
What a sick piece of shit.
Yeah, he is.
Then we get a good bit of Jim Carrey. You know, he's really at this point he's really turning into the vampire. He fucking hisses at some kids.
He's vamping. He's hissing at kids. He's wearing all black.
He's going to church for.
He's got sunglasses.
Yeah, he's going to church for forgiveness. Mm-hmm. He's asking for forgiveness from the Father.
Yeah, forgive me, Father, for I think I might have sinned. It's not like I think maybe I made a mistake. No, it's like I'm alive, so I've made awful errors.
There's another dream sequence where Jim Carrey is a bat, and then he's
oh my god, dude! And then he's just full blown Dracula. He's a Dracula. Oh my
this
god,
movie's so fucking silly.
Dude, the one where he's the bat was fucking killing me, bro.
Yeah,
I was dying laughing at that because I'm like, it's just this is like a fifth grade art project that you guys were like, no, we'll put it in the movie. Your kid made that, it's great. No, bring it in.
We love it.
Yeah, we're into it. We're into it.
How much does that cost?
What's
$30?
What's the bat budget? $8. Let's make it happen.
The bat budget,
right?
I like it.
Somebody was like, "Oh, it's got to be a super realistic bat. Like it's got to have like two wings, and it'll be attached with string, so it'll look like it's flying." But it's not super realistic at all. You just get a plastic bat from the dollar store that looks more like a bat than that.
Do you think that they were like? I think that's part of the.
Let's get a pom pom and duct tape some wings to it.
That's got to be part of the joke, though, right?
It's the size of a basketball. Like
they didn't go, man, that looks really fucking good.
No, that's got to be part of the joke. Yeah, which I appreciate. Yeah. I appreciate that extra joke,
right?
Because it can be stupid. Also, it's a fucking dream sequence.
So I like when they go to the high school dance. It's a Halloween party / high school dance, and everyone thinks that Jim Carrey is dressed as a vampire.
And he gets upset about it. He's like genuinely like, I'm not wearing a costume.
But he is like he's literally turning into a vampire.
Yeah. Which requires you to wear black clothes.
He's pale.
A la
requires you to have black clothing.
A la the Lost Boys.
Oh, okay.
Callback.
Nice little callback.
Like that? Yeah. Dude, everybody's super fucking pale.
Yeah.
But they're more punk rock.
For sure.
More grunge. You know what I'm saying?
Grungy.
Jim Carrey, they'd be like, look at this, get a load of this fucking square. Poser. And then he'd flap the duster and they'd be like, God damn.
Oh, shit. I like the dance off that they have. Dude, isn't that fucking sick?
Okay, what the fuck was going on in 1985 where they were like, hey, flash mob. It's got to be in everything. It's not, is it even a movie if you don't have dancing?
I think it's in the contract, right?
It's choreographed dancing requirement.
Yeah, it's in there.
It's got to be. Yeah, it was a pretty good dance, and it was like, take your hands off the boy. The boy is mine.
That boy is mine.
Mine.
You got your classic dance off.
Fucking was bitten
with Jim Carrey, his girlfriend,
and his mistress.
The Countess. So the Countess is trying to compete with Jim's girlfriend for him. The dancing almost kind of turns into fighting.
She does a step up, and then there's a serving. But I don't.
You just got served.
You just got served. Soft served.
Soft served.
For
like
my ice cream truck. Yeah. That's the one. Fucking nailed it.
Got it.
Yes.
Jim's girl for the win, though.
Oh,
she
dude.
wins that round.
She's fucking dancing her heart out. Sometimes you I just need to go dance it out.
It's Saturday. I just want to go dancing.
I like the way she's dressed as Jill, because it's a Halloween thing for like Jack and Jill.
Yeah.
But he didn't dress as Jack, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're a vampire," and he's like, "No, I'm not a fucking vampire. Actually, not a vampire. Actually, this is my style. I'm very unique. I slick my hair back. I'm very pale. I wear sunglasses inside, but I'm not. I repeat, not a creature of the night. This is just normal clothes for me, a normal man, Jim Carrey.
Just who I am.
She's Jill from Jack and Jill, and then in the middle of this dance off, she just rips off her costume." And she has a more sexy, more PG get up under it.
Right.
Just a white leotard with like a lacy skirt.
Yeah, I was
thing.
like, wait, what the fuck?
Is it supposed to be? I think that's supposed to be lingerie.
I think so, yeah.
But it's...
She's trying to compete.
But it's a leotard.
She's got to do everything she can to keep up with
She's doing everything she can.
the Countess.
You got to keep up with that horny lady. She's
that horny vampire.
She's a horny vampire lady, and she just wants to suck thighs and dot eyes.
So Jim Carrey tells his girlfriend he thinks the Countess is turning him into a vampire.
Yep. And the only way he can be saved is to fuck her.
That's it.
That's it. But she's not ready for that yet.
She's still not ready.
He's gonna have to wait.
I like the bit where she goes to the library, like the high school library.
It's just a very white man doing a very, very Middle Eastern accent.
Indian or
like really, really thick Middle Eastern accent. And
yeah.
he's
that was strange.
It was, because we're both like, we're watching it, and we at the same time we both kind of looked at each other and we're like, are you seeing what I'm seeing here? Is this weird for you too? Because it's off-putting.
So there were definitely a couple things about this movie that are really fucking dated.
I'm not giving him a pass. It's not passing the Bechdel test, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So I love the part where Jim Carrey's girlfriend asks his friends
to look at his
thighs.
Yeah.
For a bite mark. So they awkwardly try to do this.
Super
really awkwardly.
Yeah.
During a shower scene.
Mm-hmm.
So weird.
And it looks like one of his buddies is butt fucking him, and the other one's getting ready to suck his dong. That's what it looks like. And he's got soap all over his face, so it also looks like...
It gets pretty weird, man.
It does get pretty weird. They're dropping a lot of hard F-bombs, and I don't mean friendly. Yeah, it's dated for 1985.
It's very dated.
I was around in 1985, and that was general conversation. Yeah.
What were you doing in 85?
I was like sucking titties and just being a baby.
Skateboarding.
Doing sick skateboard tricks.
Fucking 1080s and
sucking on bottles and titties.
Kickflips and
crying about my binky, real important shit. Figuring out that I like sweet potatoes but didn't like peas.
That's awesome, dude.
Yep.
I love it. That's fucking sick, bro.
I was like learning my numbers and 1, 2, 4, etc.
Right. The Countess kidnaps Jim Carrey's girl, and he sees this.
She's gonna do sex. Which, couldn't she just sex bite her thighs?
Probably, because she's also a virgin, right?
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
But does she specify it has to be a male?
I don't. Maybe the weird racist guy in the library does. I don't remember.
Maybe. Yeah. So she kidnaps. I can't even remember her name in this. Jim Carrey's girlfriend.
That's her name.
His friend. Jim Carrey's girlfriend. What's a common last name? Smith.
Yeah.
That's it. You got it.
Agent Smith.
Agent Smith.
From The Matrix.
The boys, they follow the Countess. They break into her house.
Oh, yeah.
They find Jim Carrey's girlfriend, but they're stopped by the other vampires. And then we get a really awesome scene with the other vampires.
There's a really long chase scene.
Yeah.
A really long chase scene.
It's too long. Silly long.
It is about a minute and a half too long. And it's probably only 3 minutes. So I'm saying cut it down by half. However, the bit that they choose to leave in is very funny. Because they're being chased by all these vampires. Like, it's very Scooby-Doo.
Yes, it is.
And there are like 3 or 4 of these vampires that are like busting through brick walls and coming up through solid stone concrete stairwells and shit. There's a bit where one of the guys like smashes a door and the Countess is like, what? No, I'm done with this shit. Did you even try the doorknob? And he tries the doorknob and it just opens. But they've been busting through all this shit the whole time. Like, I think that's like a director's like hat tip to like, I know that you're like, how would he bust through that concrete stairwell? You know, that's like 3 feet of concrete and he just like pops right through it. Yeah, it was we had $35 left in the budget, so we built some foam.
I like the bit while like, as they're trying to escape, Jim Carrey and his girlfriend. Jim Carrey is holding a torch, a flaming torch, and he's trying to put his pants on at the same time.
Right.
Like, just pass the fucking torch.
Right.
Just pass it to your girlfriend.
Literally and figuratively. Shortly after, he gets his pants back off. Because him and his lady, they get in a coffin and they bang one out.
Yep.
And the Countess is like, you haven't even been in there for a full minute. And then Jim Carrey sits up and he's lighting 2 cigarettes. And she's smokes. Like, you could have. Define quickie. Like, are we going for seconds? New world record or new high score?
Right. Did I break it?
Got to finish before the other person, you know what I mean? That's how it shakes out. I had a blast with this. This was something that was like in little bits. It was like, give me a little elbow jab in the side going, hey, I know what you like.
Yeah.
You like this stupid shit, don't you? And it's right. I do. Is it the best bad movie I've seen? No.
Probably not.
No, it's pretty enjoyable, though, if I'm being honest.
It was pretty enjoyable. You probably could have cut a little bit of time off this. What was it, like an hour 35? You probably could have made an hour 25, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun, though. It's silly.
I wish they would have done something to, like, in the dialogue, to kind of hang a lantern on the fact that he drove an ice cream truck. At all. Like, they never talked about it.
The ice cream truck?
He brought it up in the first scene, and she's like, oh, I didn't want to lose my virginity in a car. And he's like, how about an ice cream truck? Because that's the only time it was brought up in the entire movie. They never mentioned it again. It's just like, that's what he drives. Like, instead of a 1982 Buick LeSabre, he just drives an ice cream truck.
I think that's his job.
No, I know it's his job. They couldn't have made some jokes about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, his friends couldn't have bagged on him a little bit for driving an ice cream truck.
You're just a fucking ice cream truck driver, bro.
To a bar in Hollywood? You go into a bar in Hollywood in an ice cream truck. Ice cream.
Well, there were a lot of weird scenes where, like, it's showing them, like, pulling up to the club or whatever, and they're clearly talking, but there's no dialogue. It's just music playing over.
Oh, yeah. Like, the bit where it's, like, cutting back and forth between all, like, the vampire henchmen and the ice cream truck. And they're like, oh, man, if only we could find a virgin. And then the ice cream truck rolls by, and they're like, what about
those guys? Right,
maybe,
there.
But it happens like 7 times, and they're like, maybe these guys actually.
These guys that look like insurance salesmen.
Right. It's some very Truman. Some Trumans.
Some Trumans?
No, I had a lot of fun with that. What would you do differently if you were to make this more compelling? Let's say remake it in modern day, because I'm going to say for 1985, this is probably pretty fun. Is it schlocky?
It is.
Is it schlocky? Absolutely.
It's very schlocky.
Does it have any good effects? No.
No.
It does not.
No.
But it's having a little bit of fun with itself, and that makes it enjoyable. And I think that comes across in the direction.
Yeah, for sure.
So instead of trying to change it drastically, let's just say modern day, you can do a couple things different.
Just some of the acting. Jim Carrey's friends in this were not good actors.
Yeah, I'd get rid. I tell you what I would do. I would remake it modern day, but I would still get Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah,
pretending that he's a high schooler, or he's just like 56 and he's still a virgin because he's fucking weird.
Right. And
like I don't know about as a man, but just have him play a weird guy.
And then his friends,
I wonder if this is where they got the arc in Spider-Man 3 for Tobey Maguire to all of a sudden act cool when he gets the symbiote. You seen Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
Okay, well, like when he gets the Venom, he gets the Venom symbiote or whatever, and all of a sudden he's like, he slicks his hair and he's being kind of an asshole and he's dancing
cool
through
guy.
the street. I wonder if that's like, if they took a page out of the, like, vampire lore of this book for that, because Jim Carrey does get increasingly cool.
That's
After
probably
when he's going to talk to his girlfriend, and I was making a joke. I'm like, yeah, actually, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been getting a lot cooler lately.
I think that was a thing, though, within a lot of movies, right? With
for
like
sure.
The 80s, 90s, the character that
For sure.
So maybe, maybe. I don't know. It's just a trope, I guess.
Yeah. I would say this probably is a common vampire trope.
Yeah. The storyline for his friends, I would definitely change that.
They get arrested because there's a fight at the phone bone zone, and they're getting frisked by two very attractive cops, two cop ladies, and he's like, "Whoa!" She's patting him down. He's like, "Is that some kind of new chokehold? Talking about my penis." So I would have liked to see a side story where all of this takes place within 24 hours, but his two nerdy friends are like, they get cuffed by these cops, and then they sweet talk him in the cop car, and then they're like. They get off duty and they never actually arrest them, and they're just having this weird, wild, sexual side B story adventure, like copless and topless.
Copless and topless.
Yeah, because they're off duty. You know what I mean? They're just yeah.
Once bitten, copless and topless.
Right? Yeah, they're just like hanging out the window of a cop car, like chugging a bottle of liquor.
Yeah.
And one of the cops is driving. She's got her shirt off and her tits are out or whatever. Just because the rest of this is fucking stupid. Why not?
Right.
Why? Because it would be funnier if it all took place over the course of a day.
Yeah,
there is one weird time jump in this I don't like.
Okay.
Because it's supposed to be like weeks later, and it just feels like the next day. When his dad's like, "You've been acting kind of strange lately." I thought it was the same, like one day, because it was night, and then she kicks him out before the sun comes up, and then he goes home, and then he's napping in the thing, and his dad comes in, and he's like, "You've been acting really strange the last couple of weeks."
It's literally
and I was like,
a day or two later.
Yeah, it felt like the next day.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, a little text across the screen, like anything, just any old thing.
1 week later.
A montage.
Montage. Yeah, you could definitely do this current day.
I was recently listening to an episode of Stuff to Blow Your Mind about let me find it, about the Kuleshov effect, which is like technically how to do montage. So montage doesn't always have to be a huge passage of time. A montage can be a 6-second piece of film that is 2 seconds of a man looking out a window, 2 seconds of a different image, and then 2 more seconds of the same footage of the man looking out the window. Technically, that is a montage. But that piece of film in the middle is what makes you associate the man looking out the window. That's what you think about his mental state, is what you see in that middle 2-second window. Like if it's like a playing, like an old lady playing with a baby and they're laughing and having a good time, or like an old woman in a coffin, or like a bowl of cold shitty soup. You know what I mean? Like that principle of montage, but there's no montage in this. They're just like, by the way, it's been several weeks. You can tell because his dad is like, "You've been acting strange the past couple of weeks."
Yeah, we could have had a really good montage there, just to kind of bridge that gap.
Once bitten.
Yeah,
just throw that back in there. Maybe get it redone by Nickelback, just for comedy's sake. Not because I'm into Nickelback, just purely for comedy's sake. Because people would be like, "Is that Nickelback?" And then after the movie, they would Google it and go, "Oh my god, it is."
What the fuck?
My, how the mighty have fallen.
Right. So, you wanna rate this fucking thing?
I'll fucking rate it right now. What kind of thumbs?
What kind of thumbs?
That's a good question.
Ooh, that is a good. If you had 10 thumbs
made
that
of like
were
lip telephones,
no. If you had 10 thumbs that were jars
of ice cream,
that's a good call.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. If you had 10 ice cream.
If you had 10 ice creams,
no.
Thumbs.
10 ice cream truck thumbs.
Oh, 10 ice cream truck thumbs? Okay, all right, I'm into that. By the way, we say ice cream normally. This is a bit we're doing because it's weird in this movie. Sorry.
What if you had 10 thumbs that were actually jars of blood?
10 blood jars. How about refrigerated gopher? Refrigerated dead gopher. When we're done here, I'm going to go back and just put on that one scene just so you can see her open the fridge because it's very funny. It's like it's just goofy as shit. They're like, well, I don't know, what would a vampire have in their fridge? Dead rodents?
Not dead rodents.
Not dead rodents, especially like not like there are no what? It just was like, I don't know, it's very funny.
What do you think?
They didn't cut back to it either. What about what kind of thumbs?
Yeah, what do you think about thumbs?
You know what? I'm thinking.
I like thumbs.
I'm thinking
either 10 ice cream truck thumbs or 10 blood jar thumbs. I think those are the two options.
I think I'm gonna go ice cream truck thumbs.
I like it
because I feel like blood jars that might come up again.
If you had 10 thumbs, how would you spread that out? Like, how would you spread your hand?
I guess I give this a hard 8. Like, I could be tempted to go 8.5. I think I'm gonna go 8.5. Because I had a lot of laughs with this. Is it a 10? Not by any stretch of the imagination. But there were enough things that they hung a lamp on enough things that made me appreciate the fact that they were having some fun with themselves. Like the drive-in movie theater scene right out of the gate. I really
that was really funny.
I thought that was hysterical, man. The thing with the refrigerator, very funny.
Right.
But then there's a lot of this that kind of falls short, but also it's 1985, so
yeah. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but then it tries to get serious at certain points. So I think that's a little bit of the fault there. I'm gonna go solid 8 because I did have a lot of fun with this.
Okay.
It's a little dated. With some of the parts. If you
it's
watch
hard
it,
to find.
you'll know what we're talking about.
Thus far, I don't think we found anything from the 80s that isn't dated.
Right.
Like, it's not a whole lot of timeless cinema going on in the 80s. Not that we've explored thus far. I mean, I'm open to any suggestions. If you've got any, you're not going to email me, so
so go fuck yourself.
Doesn't matter. Just keep it to yourself, I guess. Then, there's ways you can contact the show. You choose not to. You know, they're your kids too.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
No, man, this was a good time.
How can I guess? I'm gaslighting thousands of people. You're crazy. You're acting crazy.
What else we got? Is that going to do it for...
I think, that's probably just the next segment of the show.
Hey, what you watching?
Yeah?
So what you watching?
What you watching? Well, been watching MacGruber.
Back on the Groob?
I'm back on the Groob.
You little Groob worm.
Oh, some of the best comedy out there.
It's just so,
right
it's just
in my
so
opinion,
fucking silly, man.
It's silly.
Yeah.
And we love our silly humor. If you're not familiar with MacGruber, it's a 2010 movie. It's based off of a Saturday Night Live skit that was like literally 30 seconds.
Yeah, back when Saturday Night Live was funny, though.
Right.
Right. From the always outstanding Will Forte.
Yes.
Who's never phoned it in a day in his life. He's always going the extra mile, man. Whatever the character is, he gets so into it. He's fucking hysterical.
I'd like to see him in more.
Let's put him in our remake of Once Smitten.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would he be the kitten?
I say we just make him the main character. We're just like...
You're replacing Gem Carrey?
Make Jim Carrey one of his friends that also can't get laid.
Damn, that's cold.
Well,
Cold-blooded.
He would be less like rubber-faced. You know what I mean? Like, he would be doing less weird faces, which would also kind of enhance it. It feels schlocky to an extent. Like, I get what you... Okay, dial it back.
Yeah.
It's not as funny as you think it is. Like, don't get me wrong, Jim Carrey's weird expressions definitely have a time and a place to shine. I don't think it's in this.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree with you there.
You can get Will Forte as kind of a 40-year-old virgin kind of situation. But in Jim Carrey, his friend that's like 58 and also still a virgin. And then Steve Carell as his other friend.
I like it,
who's paranoid about being homosexual, which means he probably is.
Yeah. I like where your head's at. Yeah, watching MacGruber, the TV series on Peacock. Super funny, super silly, super serious.
It is a good one.
I'm just kidding. It's not serious.
It's not serious at all. Did you like the bit where, spoiler for MacGruber, the TV show, there's a bit where there's a building catching on fire And there's a guy whose like skin has already been burned all over his body. And MacGruber skins him and like wears his skin to escape the building that's on fire. Oh my God, dude. Because he's an idiot who just always talks shit about what a badass he is.
But he's
and
not
then all
a
of
badass.
He's not a badass. And all of a sudden, like, randomly, he'll just skin a man alive and wear his skin like a suit.
Sometimes he is a badass, though. It's so funny.
Yeah, he's silly goose.
Written by Jorma Taccone.
Jorma Taccone of The Lonely Island, which we talked about on a previous episode.
And Will Forte. I believe they kind of co-write it. But yeah, it's just fucking silly.
Very fun. And Will Forte's a delight.
And Kristen Wiig.
Oh my God. And Ryan Philippe. It's weird because Ryan Philippe, I don't think actually is funny or has comedy chops, but he's the perfect straight man to be in this like wedged in between this group of weirdos.
Yeah.
I especially like the addition of Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh my God, dude.
As the Colonel.
As the Colonel.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was talking to the Colonel.
How would you say Ryan? Is it Ryan Felipe or Ryan Philippe?
I've always heard Philippe.
Philippe? That sounds right, yeah.
Could be wrong. I don't know. It's just what I've heard.
Yeah, because the two P's.
A better journalist would look it up, but I just don't fucking care. I just don't. Yeah. What was he in? Like movies in the early 2000s, late 90s, where it's like, oh, we're teenagers, and we're in high school, and that guy's an asshole.
He was in Cruel Intentions.
Yep, that's the movie I'm talking about.
Yeah,
it's the exact one. He was probably in like The Skulls or something.
He was in Crash.
He was probably in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
might have been in a Final Destination.
Should have been.
Should have been.
Could have been.
Could have been.
Would have been.
He's a good straight man in this, though. You know what I mean? Where he's
really
like, you guys are fucking idiots. We gotta pause the show for a second. I'll be back in like 14 minutes. I gotta go take a shower. Because I just shit my pants.
I shit my fucking pants.
Shit my fucking once bitten.
I started reading a book called Church End.
Church End?
Yes.
Like END?
Yes.
Okay, what happens in that? It's like church is over and then everybody goes to the same Mexican restaurant?
That's it. How'd you know?
Fucking, because I know what happens on Sundays about noon 30.
So, are you familiar with the Troubles? Do you know what the Troubles are?
Yeah, they're like, you stub your toe, you like got to pay your taxes.
That's what you would think, right?
Okay. What are the Troubles?
The
like
Troubles,
the Teletubbies?
It was kind of Ireland.
Okay.
Do you know anything about Ireland at all?
Yeah. Fun fact about Ireland. How many... I do know things about Ireland.
Okay.
Here's the first thing I'm going to start with.
Yep.
How many castles do you think there are in Ireland?
Ooh.
Like, think like geographically about the size of Ireland. How many castles do you think are there?
I'm going to say 0.
30,000.
I said 0.
I said you wouldn't guess, so... You did make a guess, technically.
Because when I think about Ireland, I don't really think about castles. For some reason, my mind goes to Scotland when I think about castles.
30,000 fucking castles in Ireland. Anyway, carry on.
So if you don't know anything about Ireland, it is actually... So Northern Ireland is controlled by the United Kingdom. It is part of the United Kingdom.
Right.
And then there's just Ireland, which is the Republic of Ireland. So from like the 1960s to like the almost 2000, there was a war basically between
the NRA,
the
not the National Rifle Association,
right? The NRA and
the government.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And Ireland.
Have you ever seen the movie The Foreigner with Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan? I think.
No.
Oh, dude, so good. So it's Jackie Chan not being a like super stuntman ninja. But it's very, very good.
Nice.
Well, I wouldn't say like it's not top tier or anything. It's Jackie Chan in a role you've not seen Jackie Chan do, but it is in regards to what you're talking about.
The Troubles?
Yeah, like the NRA and the government and all that shit. I didn't know it was just referred to as the Troubles. I'd never heard that before.
I didn't know that.
That's new nomenclature for me.
Yeah, it's like I said, from like the 1960s to almost the 2000s, there was a war between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, mostly over religion. So you have your Irish Catholics, and you have your Protestants from the United Kingdom. They control Northern Ireland. So the book I'm reading, this author, he grew up.
So one of them are like, you can only eat fish, and the other one's like, fuck you, I can eat pork.
Fuck you, I'll eat whatever I want.
Eat my dick.
This author grew up during the Troubles, and he went back and forth between Ireland and England. And this book he wrote, it's fiction, but it's kind of loosely based upon his experiences.
That's cool.
During the Troubles.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
And he came up with this story where his brother was shot and killed by an English soldier. So he goes to England to try to find this soldier and to kind of revenge his brother. So, Colin Broderick is the author. It's called Church End. It's pretty good so far. What have you been up to? I mean, we just saw each other last week, but...
Yeah, I did just see you last week. Oddly enough, been up to quite a bit. Still have been getting down on some baskets. I'm almost to season 4. I think I'm like one episode shy of being on season 4.
God, that's so good.
I watched a good movie, too. I watched Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley, starring Bradley Cooper and a slew of amazing actors.
Huh. Is that a newer film?
It is. I caught it on Hulu because I have the Showtime add-on.
The Hulus? You got it on the Hulus?
I got the Hulus. Stars Bradley Cooper, Kate Blanchett, Rooney Mara, Toni Collette, Paul Anderson, Willem Dafoe, and Ron Perlman.
What's it called?
Nightmare Alley.
Nightmare Alley.
Bradley Cooper's kind of a piece of shit. He fucking essentially like hops on a train, he gets off a train, he like links in with some carnies, and then he meets a like fortune teller type of mystic mentalism person.
Oh, okay,
and he decides he's gonna fuck over some rich people, and shit doesn't go well.
Wow.
Yeah,
where'd you see it?
Really good, man. I watched it on Hulu because I have the Showtime.
You just told me that.
I did literally just say it.
What a piece of shit I am.
I appreciate you paying attention when I'm talking. It makes me feel like, anybody cares. But I'm making a whole podcast about me doing it. If you listen to this podcast.
So what you're saying is I need to subscribe to Showtime to see this film.
Or you could just rent it. I'm sure it's on Prime, I'm sure.
No, not yet. Oh, wait a minute. HBO Max?
Oh, it's on the Max? There you go, baby. Boom.
Okay.
Yeah, it's worth a watch. It's good fun time. I will say this about it. I don't want to give any spoilers about it.
Please don't.
As soon as the very last scene started, I knew how it was going to end, and it still made me uncomfortable. Like the last 3 minutes of it, I'm like, oh man, this is about to happen. And then it happens, and I'm still like, ugh. Like, gives me goosebumps and just makes me feel fucking gross, you know what I mean? That visceral reaction, okay. I really appreciate that. And of course, Guillermo del Toro, there's gramophones. He's got gramophones. People are wearing hats. They got the hats and everything's like milky and there's preserved things in jars. Don't even worry about it, baby.
Man, I really like Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, I do too.
She's so good.
Yeah, she really is. I don't know that I've ever seen her in anything mediocre. She's even in one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Which one?
The Thor Ragnarok.
Oh my God.
She's hella.
Yeah, her as hella. Man, she's so good. Hella good. Get the fuck out of here.
Hella good.
Rub that hair you ain't got.
Hey, listen. My name is Danny. I'm a Cancer.
Are you a Cancer?
I like short walks to the refrigerator. Yeah. I like short walks to the refrigerator and
grabbing pickles.
Get pickle juice and comic books. And Carl Sagan. Look, you're a mature adult. I'm a man child. Let's say we cut the bullshit.
Hey, my name's Birdman. I'm a Taurus. I like bass strings
and nests. I make nests out of bass strings. I know it's quirky. That's how I am, though.
That's just what I do.
Yeah. It's just me.
I like beer, too.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not just bass string and nests.
Right. Wait, there's another thing I wanted to bring up. What was it?
Bring it up, baby.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Been getting into Righteous Gemstones. I'm back on that season 2 train. We'll talk about it off mic because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who that just hasn't seen it yet.
All right.
Even though this isn't going to come out for 3 weeks, the season might be over by the time this episode drops.
I think it might be, yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm very much enjoying that. Peacemaker on HBO.
Ooh, I still got to start that.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. That's one of the funniest fucking shows I have seen. That is one of the funniest TV shows I have seen in I don't know how long.
You know what I'm excited about?
What are you excited about?
The final season. I don't think you've got into this world.
Okay.
The final season of Better Call Saul.
No, it's not. I dipped my toes in. I watched like 2 seasons of Breaking Bad.
Still a bum.
I do love Bob Odenkirk, though.
Yeah. I'm still bummed you didn't finish Breaking Bad.
Yeah, like, so am I, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of, like, it's been spoiled for me, and I'm like, well, do I want to watch 60 hours of...
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I watched El Camino because I read people say, like, it's self-contained. If you've never watched Breaking Bad, you can still enjoy El Camino, which I did.
You can, but you should know the fucking story of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, well, you should know. Shut the fuck up. I'm talking about watching movies, goddammit.
That I will fuck you.
You guys aren't going to start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
Let's call that gold talk for a one-eyed fat man.
Can I make a suggestion that doesn't involve violence? Or is this the wrong crowd?
Maybe we should call in a bomb threat to Houston. I think it's free beer night at the Astrodome.
The Jedi, Bob, we don't fight with guns, we fight with our mind.
Cousin, business is booming.
That is one big pile of shit.
Jog on.
It's Just Two Movies is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios and can be found wherever you get your podcasts.
Natasha McElhone is how I would say
Natasha McElhone?
McElhone, yeah.
I'm Natasha McMillan. That's what I'm going to call it.
McMellans.